Yeah, sure. Morning, guys. Firstly, Jack, thanks for your time this morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah, all good. Thank you very much. Quite a lot to talk to you about. If we could start with Jordan Henderson's comments on player welfare. As a Premier League player, how do you feel at the moment?
Yeah, we're good. I totally understand what he's been saying. I mean, their fixture list is probably a lot more congested than ours. I mean, they have all the Champions League stuff, they have the cup competitions, they have the league. I don't know if they've had any games cancelled as well, but for us at the minute, our focus is the league, and we've had 3 games cancelled. So for us, it's not been too bad. And going back to Boxing Day fixtures and the Christmas period, we sort of know how busy it's going to be, and we sort of have enough time to get prepared for it. Whereas at the top clubs, we have a lot of games like that. I can understand where the frustrations come from.
The Premier League managers.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
I'm looking at the screen. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. The Premier League managers are having a meeting today at 4:00. Have you all gathered together as a group and spoke to Sean about what you might want him to say?
No. What is? I don't mean, there's a meeting. What is the meeting concerning? The fixtures or the COVID stuff?
A bit of both, really. Mainly player welfare.
No, I didn't even know. I thought there was going to be a meeting on Monday. I knew there was meetings over the weekend, and as far as I'm concerned, and what I've been told is the season's going ahead. We've got a game on Sunday. We've got 3 games already cancelled that we've got to get our head round, and we're ready. We're ready to go. We're ready to play, and yeah, we're not really too concerned about everything. So.
Your captain Ben Mee will also be involved in a meeting with the other 19 Premier League captains. Did you know about that? Have you had a chance to speak to him?
No, I thought that was on Monday, but yeah, no, I'm sure Ben speaks really well, gets his point across, and he's a very informed guy. He's a great captain. I'm sure he'll get a good point and say what he has to say for us. So.
And you say he has a good point to put across, but as a player, what do you want the outcome of that meeting to be?
It's a hard one because there's a lot of stuff going on at the minute. It's a hard one to call. I think with all the COVID stuff going on and everything surrounding it, the build-up of games, it's hard to know what the correct decision is. I mean, people are saying that this virus is showing less symptoms than a normal one, but then again, the cases are up to 100,000 a day, so it is very difficult at the minute for someone to make a decision and say what's going to be correct and what's not when no one knows who can be affected by it in the long term. So.
And as a player yourself, are you concerned by the demand being put on you?
No, like I previously said, we've actually been not lucky that the fixture has been changed, but we haven't had many games recently, and other people have. We've got a good vaccination thing going on at the club. A high number of our players are vaccinated, and there isn't a lot of people too worried about that inside our camp. So we're ready to just kick on over Christmas and over the New Year period. So.
And something that could ease the pressure on players is the discussion around 5 substitutes again. Are you in favour of that?
It just, like I said, it doesn't affect us. I'm more than happy to keep it as it is. I feel like these changes should be made at the start of seasons. I think they feel like there was enough time to be made before the season and enough information to know that maybe another wave of COVID could happen, and a decision could have been made then. And I would prefer it to stay as it is, to be honest, this season. So.
One player you could lose soon is Maxwell Cornet. He could be off to the Africa Cup of Nations. Is he going to be quite a big miss from the team?
Yeah, we've missed Maxi the last couple of games now, and he started the season amazingly. He's come in. He's been a great lad. He's worked hard. He's adjusted really well, fitted in really well, and he showed that on the pitch. And he will be a big miss for us. But we have got very good players here, very good attacking players that are proven in the Premier League and in English leagues, and yeah, we should have enough cover. So.
18th in the Premier League at the moment. How are Burnley going to get themselves out of this situation? They usually do and stay in the Premier League again, but how are you doing it as we approach the halfway stage?
I feel that the group we have is a very experienced group that won't worry about where we are currently in the table. I feel like we have a lot of players that have been in this position previously, and we tend to try not look at the other results and what's coming in on other team side of things. We've just got to know that we're only going to stay up by getting points. That is the only way we're going to stay up, by us getting points. And there's no point looking at anyone. It's normally around the 35-point mark, and that will be what we're aiming for. And if we don't get to that point, then we have ourselves to blame. So,
just a couple more from me, if that's okay. Your last goal at Turf Moor, was just over 3 years ago, but it was against a club from the Merseyside. Are you hoping for the same on Boxing Day?
Yeah, goal would be nice. Yeah, I'm due one. Yeah, it's been a long time since we've got a couple of injuries in between. So yeah, no, it'd be nice. My son's just getting to an age now where he keeps getting up me to score some goals. So I need to sort of get one for him really.
And what kind of threat will Everton pose for you on Boxing Day?
Yeah, well, we played them early in the season and we were quite comfortable in the first half, and then we had like a 10-15 minute period in the second half where they really turned up and scored a few goals, and we know that they're a team that can change a game that quickly. They've got some good attacking players. I watched bits of the Chelsea game the other day, even though they're missing a few players, they're still dangerous. And they're Everton, one of the best teams in the country. So we're going to have a tough game on our hands on Sunday. So.
Just finally from me, the transfer window opens in just over a week's time. As far as I understand it, your contract at Turf Moor is up next summer with the option of a further year. Where do you see your future?
I'm not sure. I know there's a lot of players at the club at the minute in a similar position to me. So we'll have to see how January progresses and how they deal with what's currently happening at the club. Like I said, it'd be nice to get a few of those people tied down to stay at the club longer, but that's out of a lot of the players' hands. So we'll see how it goes in January.
So just a finally, what does Christmas look like in the Cork household?
Christmas, it'd be nice. Yeah, I've got obviously 2 young kids, 2 dogs, and some family there. So yeah, it's always a special time, and kids are getting a little bit older now, so they're starting to get a lot back from them. So I'm really excited for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Have a great Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. We're just going to have to limit it down to 3 questions each due to the times against us. So, Alex James, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, Jack. Sorry, I wasn't expected to be promoted up the order there. Are you well?
Yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. You were talking about the fact that Burnley's got a really high sort of vaccine rate amongst the squad, and there's been a lot of talk about it in Premier League players getting the jabs and what have you. Is that something you discuss amongst players in the dressing room, or do you just sort of leave everybody to get on with their individual decisions?
No, I don't feel like you can force anyone to have the jab. It's all down to everyone's own choice, and I feel that's the way it should be. But I feel we have a lot of players that are well informed and have made a good decision in getting the vaccine that can sort of hope our season is less interrupted. So we had the booster. Everyone, the nurse came in on Monday to give the boosters to everyone that wanted it, and it's nice. We have the conversations about it and we speak about it, and yeah, it's good.
Just on the sort of last couple of weeks, obviously you've had 2 games called off at next to no notice. How sort of frustrating has that been, and what's it been like as a player in that situation?
Yeah, it's been really frustrating. I mean, the first one was okay, it was understandable. The second one against Watford, we were just having pre-match and we had 2-3 hours. But that's the Villa one on Saturday was a nightmare. We were just about to set off for the game, and it just really frustrating. Really, like just hard to get your head around when you're so close to doing it. And that's 3 now, and that will affect our at the beginning of next year for us, because it will be a lot more congested. And going back to we have a problem with congested fixtures, it might be a bit different next year for us.
Just lastly from me, Everton on Boxing Day sort of evokes memories of that 5-1 defeat. Sorry to bring it up in 2018, which was sort of a real turning point for Burnley that season. Obviously, you're not quite in as difficult a situation now. You've played fewer games. Are you sort of hoping it can be a similar thing, really, only with a more positive outcome, that this can provide a catalyst and you can go on and kick on in the second half of the season? Because that was a difficult afternoon at Turf Moor, but you came out the other side of it and had a really strong second half of that season.
Yeah, no, we don't let like one game here and there affect what we are as a group. We know what we are. We know how we deal with defeats, and we don't let it affect us. And that was 2-3 years ago now, so it's a completely different team to what that was. So we'll be looking to go into Boxing Day, play like we did for the first half at their place over the season for the whole game, and try and get the win. So
nice one. Thanks, Jack. All the best for the weekend. Have a good Christmas.
Thanks, Alex. Jeff? Nope. Danjul?
Hiya, Jack.
you right? Okay.
As well as can be expected.
As far as the fixtures are concerned, you've been over it, kind of, the talk of fixture congestion and player welfare. Would it be fair to say, given where you are and how many games you've not played recently, that Burnley are probably the keenest team in the Premier League to get on with this if you can and get some games played?
Yeah, we've got a bit of catching up to do now. Because what we've got 3 games on a few of the teams in the league now, 3 games on Leeds, and even though we haven't played, the table doesn't look too bad for us at the minute. We've got some games to play, and it's given us a good chance to catch up. But we just need to get back into it and try and get these games played for us, and try and get the results on the board. So
we can talk about the past and your past experiences. Is one of the differences this season the depth of squad, the options that you've got available this year that maybe you wouldn't have had in previous campaigns? Will that potentially help you?
Yeah, we've got a very, very strong squad, bigger squad than we normally have. I think we had probably about 14, 15 players available last season. We've probably got 22, 23 players now that can fill in at any time, and they're all very good players, international players who play at the highest level. And yeah, we could do with the season kicking on, and we could do with getting the games played. So.
Do you have to try and see that as a positive, the fact that there is going to be a really busy start to 2022, particularly in an area like you play in the midfield, where you might not have played every week already, but you do know that there's going to be a volume of games coming up?
Yeah, I feel that we've got the players that and the team shows in previous years that the second half of the year suits us. I think sometimes at the start of the season we struggle, but we have the sort of determination and grit to dig in over the colder months, and when the fixtures get a bit busy, we've got the sort of attitude that says we can knuckle down and go, you know what, we want to get stuck in, we want to stay up, we want to fight for it, and I feel that's proved us well over the last few years.
That's my 3-question limit. Thank you, Matt.
Cheers, thank you. Chris Bolden.
Morning, Jack. You okay?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, not bad at all, thanks. Yeah, just you mentioned goal scoring earlier. I mean, it's something you used to do quite regularly, isn't it? Sort of pop up late in the box and get yourself on the end of stuff. But that's something that the whole midfield can do. There's no goals, is there, between the midfielders, even the wingers so far this season? No,
it's So I think it's obviously formations and tactics that. But I shouldn't really talk about. Maybe we're playing a bit deeper this year, or stuff like that. But it's always something. It's nice to score goals. It's nice to help in that area of the pitch, and it's frustrating when you don't. And it's something that sometimes you go through spells. It's hard to explain, and sometimes you go through good patches that you can't explain either. So hopefully, all I can say is we can try and add that to our game. So.
Yeah, looking at the season so far on a personal level, has it been a frustrating one for yourself? Probably not been as regular in the side as you would be usually.
Yeah, that's football. It is what it is. Managers make decisions and play different things. They want to try different things, and yeah, that's just how you have to deal with it. You can't be upset with not playing. You have to just get ready for your chance, and when it comes, you have to be ready for it. And I've seen enough of that over my whole career, and I know that is what it is. And if you sulk about it and you don't play, then when you're ready for your chance, you'll not be good enough. So you have to be ready, do the stuff in the gym behind the scenes, and do the running when you're not playing, and be ready for it. So
yeah. And what is it? You mentioned the second half of the season with Burnley. What is it about Burnley that makes you kick on over the second half?
I don't know, it's almost like we like the cold, and we used to the cold and the rain, and then working hard in the week. I think it just suits us. I think that we tend to do well. I don't know what the reason is when it starts getting colder. When there is more games to deal with, and we have to play the Saturday Tuesdays. We get stuck in and we do well. So
yeah, spot on. Cheers, Roger. All the best for Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Thank you much.
Jeff, do you have any questions at this point? Are you okay?
Yeah,
it's cracker, isn't it? Adam?
Yeah. Hi, Jack.
Hey, right.
We've seen in Scotland this week and in Wales that matches have had to go back behind closed doors. Obviously, there's nothing you can do if the government comes in, but just how good is it just to have the fans still in?
Yeah, well, the last season was was very strange. It was I didn't really enjoy it at all. It didn't really feel like proper football. It felt like you were playing a lot of reserve team matches, and the atmosphere was dead. And yeah, I just don't see how it's fair for one team to not have home fans and other teams to have fans, because if you look at the sort of stats on away wins last year, I think it was a record high of away wins. So people are going to be going to teams like Swansea and Cardiff with a higher percentage chance of winning, and that's how it is. And it will be unfair for them halfway through the season to change the rules, and it's unfortunately out of their hands. But it does seem a little unfair to certain teams.
And this time last year, obviously, with no fans, and Boxing Day's always a special fixture, isn't it? Like, do you still enjoy it as a player?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I will look forward to when I finish having a proper Christmas and a proper New Year's. But at the minute, I'm just used to having a nice day at home and preparing for the game on a Saturday. I think the family really enjoy coming to the games on Boxing Day, and it's a special time for them also.
Yeah, but I guess with your dad playing there, you're just sort of used to like football dominating Christmas from like when you were a kid.
Yeah, it's always been football on a Boxing Day. Yeah, this is part of Christmas, isn't it? It's always, it'd be a shame not to have the games on Boxing Day. And then when people say that it gets congested, I need to change the fixtures on Christmas Day. It's part of English football, it's part of British football, the Boxing Day games, and it's part of the culture. So,
all right, best of luck and enjoy your Christmas.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers, you too.
Thanks, Adam. Ken Lawrence.
All right, Jack.
Hey, all right.
Merry Christmas to you, mate.
Yeah, you too. Merry Christmas.
And your family.
Thank you.
You talked about your own situation with the contract, and you're not sure. Sometimes you'll know you've been around a long time. Sometimes when you've got a bunch of players that are coming out of contract, there can be dissent and unhappiness in the squad. But the impression I get from you guys, and there are a few of you that are up for contracts, is that you really pull together. That the fact that you might not be playing for Burnley next season doesn't matter for the moment. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of boys here, a lot of lads here that have been at the club for a long time, and no, we want to do it for each other as much as the clubs. You know what I mean? We don't want to let ourselves down. We don't let our standards down. If results go badly, it only really reflects badly on us, and that is not something you want on your CV. That you didn't want to do something because you're all out of contract and you had the hump. So it's not in our nature. It's not part of this club, and we'll always have a go there and have a fight. So.
Yeah, so there's nothing like niggling in the background, is it, where, chewing away at you thinking, why?
No, not really. That's all right.
That's good. And I need to know, what's your son called who's never saw you score a goal?
Arlo, he is.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully that'll happen soon.
Thanks. Hopefully. Yeah, I've got a celebration plan for him. You'll never see it, probably.
Sounds like you're under a bit of pressure at the moment.
I am, that's why I'm not scoring, yeah.
All right. Thanks a million.
Cheers. Thank you.
Mark Walker.
Yeah, hi Jack.
How you doing? You right?
Yeah, good mate. That makes me smile with you. So I've got two sons, and I'm just wondering what he said to you regarding this goal and what you've promised him.
Oh no, he just because we're always playing the garden with him, so we always do skills and mess about. And he says, "Daddy, why don't you ever do skills on the pitch? You can do them in the garden." It doesn't really work. I can't start flicking it over my head and doing silly tricks in the middle and losing it. But yeah, he just goes on. You need to do this celebration and do that. It's just had a year where he's just got mad into football. I think it was the Euros in previously that just really got him excited for it. And yeah, he's just so into it. So
how old is he, Jack?
He's 8.
And God, that's some incentive for you as a young dad.
Yeah, no, he was never really that into it, but all of a sudden it's just come out of nowhere. He wants to be in the garden all the time. Everything's football, everything's in cars or the shirts. So it's nice to have something in common with him.
Thanks, mate. Good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you very much.